you use matters. There's a story, I had a client, I represented the seller, buyer wanted to buy the home. He was using a first-time agent. She had closed a couple of homes. When I tell you she was nice, she was on top of it, very responsive. But you don't know what you don't know, and it is painfully easy to get a real estate license, but what you learn in real estate school is not actually true application for the industry. That's why you get under a brokerage or you get on a team, someone who can help you, who can assist you. My personal opinion is you should not be brokering any deals until you hit the 50 transaction mark. And even then, you will still have checkpoints and questions, but that's when I personally feel you have enough experience to do it on your own. But anyway, so this agent writes the offer for the client. It's about 2 weeks in, and as a listing agent, we give the buyer side some time to do their job. Now, I've had a lot of agents say, hey Tammy, it's not my job to check on the appraisal, that's the buyer agent. It's not my job to do this. Your job is to represent your client well, and if you don't make it to the closing table unscathed, you did not do your job well. So you might be working both sides. If you get another agent that's really strong, awesome. Well, we're 2 weeks in, we still have not seen an appraisal, we've still not seen anything happen. I tried to call the agent, just so happened she was in appointments, and she said, hey, I'm tied up. So I'm like, no big deal. I pick up the phone, I call the mortgage lender, and I ask him about the appraisal, and he says, what's the address again? And I tell him the address. He goes, what's the client's name? And he tells me the client's name, and I said, you know, maybe they chose a different mortgage lender and I just wasn't notified, but let me call the other agent. So I call her and I ask her about the appraisal, and she's like, no, that's weird. No, he's still using that guy. So calls him, she calls me back in a tizzy about 10 minutes later and says, Tammy, I've got to be honest with you. I'm a new agent and I did not know I needed to send the contract to anybody. I don't know what she thought it was gonna do sitting on her desk, but she did not know it needed to go to the attorney. She did not know it needed to go to the mortgage lender. So it was like the sale did not exist. Okay, no big deal. My seller's actually super chill, and she says, fine, I'll sign a 2-week extension. In that 2-week extension, another buyer sees her home, says, hey, can I write a backup offer? Yeah, sure, why not? It's $10,000 more. Now here's the deal. In the state of South Carolina, we want to do all that we can to keep a deal together. Nobody should be working to blow up a deal. However, you have deadlines and dates for a reason. And had she not ever had that 2-week window where another buyer showed up and offered her $10,000 more, she might have been inclined to sign another extension for the first buyer. But as it may be, the loan was not going to be able to close on time. The buyer says, hey, I've already turned on utilities in my name. I've already taken care of everything. I've paid for the appraisal. Just sign this extension. We'll close in a week. She would not sign the extension, and legally, she wasn't obligated to. She let that buyer go, signed with the other buyer. They closed a couple weeks later, and she made $10,000 more. Now, here's the sad part. That buyer didn't do anything wrong, but because of his representation, he was not set up in a way to close on time and get that property. And that agent did not wittingly do anything wrong, but as I learned more about her brokerage and her mentorship, she was all alone, so she didn't know what she didn't know. So if you're a new agent, I would strongly encourage you, find a team, find a mentor. Don't write a contract without getting some help first.